Imagine you're an American bomber pilot, flying a damaged aircraft over the Pacific. Engines are failing. Fuel is leaking. Your crew is injured. You have no weapons left. You see a Japanese fighter approaching, guns ready. You whisper, "This is it." But instead of firing, the Japanese pilot raises his hand, looks you in the eyes through the cockpit glass, and does something no one could ever expect. This is the true story of Saburo Sakai, one of Japan's most skilled pilots, in the day he chose to save an American crew instead of destroying them. War forces people to see each other as enemies, but every now and then, someone refuses to follow that script. Someone chooses humanity. Today, you will all learn about one of the most surprising moments of compassion in the Pacific War, a moment that went against military orders, against propaganda, and against the expectations of both nations. And it all happened in the skies between Japan and the United States. Saburo Sakai was one of the most respected pilots in the Imperial Japanese Navy. Aces studied his flight techniques. Commanders trusted him. Enemies feared him. But behind the uniform was a man shaped not by hate, but by discipline, tradition, and a deep sense of honor. He believed in fighting soldiers, not helpless opponents. And that belief is what led to the moment that changed everything. August 7th, 1942. An American B-17 Flying Fortress was limping back toward Allied territory. It had been hit by anti-aircraft fire. Its windows were shattered. Its tail was damaged. One engine was smoking. The crew was exhausted and shaken. They were alone. No escort fighters. No backup. No weapons able to fire. Just a wounded aircraft trying to make it home. Then the worst thing happened. A Japanese Zero approached. Saburo Sakai saw the bomber. From a distance, he could tell. Its gunners weren't moving. Its engines were barely functioning. Its flight path was unstable. The crew was struggling. To any other pilot, this was the easiest kill imaginable. But to Sakai, it looked like something else. A crew that had no means to defend itself. He later said, "They were already defeated. I could not attack men who could not fight back." He pulled up beside the bomber, close enough to see the fear on the American pilot's face. Close enough for the Americans to see him raise his hand, not in threat, but in acknowledgement. Sakai kept pace with the bomber. He examined its engines, checked its altitude, watched its flight pattern. Then he made a decision that went against everything he had been trained for. He pointed ahead, signaling the B-17 to continue on its path. Then he dipped his wings in a gesture of respect, an international sign among pilots. "I will not harm you." The American crew couldn't believe it. One gunner whispered, "He's letting us go," instead of shooting them down. Sakai escorted the American bomber out of Japanese airspace. He protected the enemy crew from other potential Japanese fighters. He guided them toward a safe escape route. He ensured the bomber reached open sea. Only then did he circle back toward Japan. His flight log simply read, "Encountered disabled B-17, no engagement." Just that, but the American crew lived because of him. Decades later, surviving members of the B-17 crew spoke publicly about the encounter. One said, "I saw no hatred in his eyes, only a man doing the honorable thing." Another said, "He saved us. He absolutely saved us." For Sakai, the encounter shaped the rest of his life. After the war, he refused to glorify killing. He spoke openly about honor, compassion, and humility, something extremely rare for former aces. He even visited the United States years later, and was welcomed by American veterans who once might have been his enemies. Both countries tried to bury the story. Japan didn't want to praise mercy. America didn't want to highlight compassion from the enemy. But the truth survived through eyewitness accounts. A Japanese ace trained to destroy, expected to kill, rewarded for victory. chose instead to save the lives of the men inside a dying bomber. Not because they were American, not because he agreed with them, but because they were human beings. And that choice echoes across history as one of the most honorable moments of the Pacific War. A reminder that on the worst days of humanity, some people still choose to be human. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as powerful as I did, consider subscribing for more incredible moments from history.